Hello all, welcome to this session. In this session, I am going to answer one of the Java interview questions. That is, can we pass arguments to Java main method in Eclipse IDE editor? The answer is yes. From Eclipse IDE editor, we can run a Java program and pass the arguments to the main method in the Java program. Okay? By using this run configurations, and we have to thereby go into the arguments tab where we have to pass the arguments, okay, for this main method in the Java program. So let me practically demonstrate so that you'll be able to understand the answer for this question in a better way. For that, I'll switch to the Eclipse IDE. In Eclipse IDE, I'm going to create a new class here. I'll just create a new class, say class B, okay. With main method, I'm auto-generating. Now, inside the class, we have a main method. Inside the class, we have this main method. I'm removing this comment which came by default. You see, this is one of the parameter which is declared with string array type. Okay, the main method in Java by default will contain this string of args. Okay, a parameter, and this will receive the arguments from the command line. But the question here is it possible to receive the arguments to this main method not from command line, from the same Eclipse IDE? It is possible to, you know, so, in one of the previous questions, interview questions, I showed you how to pass the arguments to this main method, okay, using the command line. Java commands like Java, C, Java, and all those stuff, okay. From command line, we can pass the arguments. But is there any way in Eclipse IDE we can pass the arguments without using that command line commands? Is there any way from Eclipse IDE? The answer is yes, guys. So what I'll do is, inside the main method, I'll write some logic which will utilize these arguments and print them. Okay, whatever the arguments that are being passed, okay, while calling this main method, while running this main method, if you want to pass the arguments not from command line but from Eclipse IDE, whatever the arguments that Eclipse IDE is passing to this args parameter, I would like to utilize and print them here. For that, I'll write a for loop for each and every argument is of string type. String array means each and every argument is string type. So string arg, and just you can give anything here, arg, anything you want, colon, and the string array name from which arguments will be assigned. For every iteration, one argument out of this list of arguments will be assigned here. One for every argument, the for each loop will be iterated, and here I'll be printing the arg. That's it. Okay. So this is a simple program I have written, but now I don't want to use command line. Instead of Eclipse IDE, I would like to use Eclipse IDE instead of a command line tool to pass the arguments. Is that possible? Okay, the question is all about, can we pass arguments to Java main method in Eclipse IDE editor? Okay, so from using Eclipse IDE editor functionality, can we pass the argument? Is a question. Okay, so can we pass arguments to Java main method in Eclipse IDE editor? Okay, and I can extend this question, okay, without using command line. Okay, without using command line. Okay, without using command line. Okay, you by using Eclipse editor features. Okay, without using command lines. Okay. Using, okay. Can we pass arguments to Java main method using Eclipse IDE editor features and without using command line? Okay, if you want to the question to be more clear and precise, this is the way we can extend it. Okay, that's fine. Anyhow, we'll go to Eclipse IDE where I have written the code, which utilizes this arguments being passed to this particular main method. Now, without using command line, how to use Eclipse IDE features to pass the arguments to this particular parameter. So for that, I have to right click on this code, and there is an option like run as option. Either you can right click on the code or you can right click on the file name. Anything is fine. Just right click and say run as. And here, instead of Java application, you just select run configurations. The moment you select run configurations, you will get this dialog, guys. Okay, here main is there in the main tab. Make sure the project name is correct. Java interview questions is the project name. If it is not correct, if any other project name is you want to change, okay, if this particular file that you want to run or pass the arguments is in a different project, then you can browse that project here. And here we have to provide the class. Here class A is there, class B is there, class 1. Which class you want to pass the arguments to, okay? Just click on search. And here you will get the list. And here you see current one is class B from AB pack. So in this list, you can find out, okay, You see class B from XPack is also there. Like many things are there. So whatever the class you want, you just search for here, guys. Okay. Or you can type here, you will get that. Okay. Class B. Let's say I'll type class B. I'll search for class B. Class B is from different packages. Okay. In this project, one is from AB pack, another one is X pack, V pack, W pack. Current class B is in AB pack. So I'll select the AB pack and say OK. Now we have given the class and the project name. Now we have to go to the arguments. Second type arguments, and here we have to pass the arguments. We generally pass these arguments from command line, but here the question is all about, can we use Eclipse IDE features to, um, pass the arguments instead of this, passing them from the command lines instead of IDE editor features and all. So in this way, like to pass these arguments from Eclipse IDE editor, you have to pass the arguments here. For example, I'll give Varun space, Arun space, Varun space, Sarun. Three arguments I gave. Arun is first argument, second argument is Varun, Tarun is third argument. I'll simply say apply all these things I want to apply and say click on run, guys. The moment I click on run, you will see that Arun, Varun, Tarun got printed. That means whatever the arguments have passed have been stored into this string array, and this for each loop for string array will print each and every argument that is being passed, that is Arun, Varun, Tarun, has been printed in the output console, okay, using this print statement. So for loop has been iterated 3 times, and every time it iterated, it has printed one of the argument, okay. So Arun, Varun, Tarun has been printed. So this proves that we can pass arguments to the Java main method, not only from the command line, but also using the Eclipse IDE features, we can do that, okay. So with practical demonstration, I've answered this question for you. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye.